They have each battled almost unimaginable adversity.
They have proven beyond any
The winner
doubt
of the main
how
event
much they will fight.
will walk away with 3 of the welterweight belts. Just one away from becoming the undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
I've been getting the second chance at life.
Is Errol Spence still the same guy?
And I've been getting the third chance at boxing. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna fight the best guys.
You'll see the best of Errol Spence, and Adonis Ugas will bring it out.
I was ready for Pacquiao. I'm gonna be ready for Spence. What you're gonna see on April 16th is 2 of the 3 best welterweights in the world.
At the end of the day, I want to be undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
This is for 3 of the 4 world titles. For who's the best welterweight of this era.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Showtime Sports YouTube page. As we are here in Las Vegas, Nevada, for the workout of the WBA welterweight champion of the world, Yordenis Ugas, on Saturday, April 16th on Showtime pay-per-view. You will see, for the 12th time in welterweight history, unification as 3 world titles will be on the line. The WBA champion puts his crown on the line against the WBC and IBF welterweight champion of the world, Errol Spence Jr. It all comes your way on Saturday, April 16th, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Tickets are still available. You can get them at SeatGeek.com. This event presented by Premier Boxing Champions and promoted by TGB Promotions and Man Down Promotions. We have a loaded card from top to bottom. We will get to that after we talk with this man, Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis, great to see you. Un placer. Can you tell us about how you are feeling as we are mere a few weeks away until you collide against Errol Spence Jr.?
¿Cómo te sientes sintiendo que es 2 semanas de la pelea?
No, un placer a verte siempre y gracias a todos los que vinieron a verme entrenamiento. Me siento bien, listo para una gran noche de boxeo, listo para una gran pelea.
He said, thank you for everyone for coming out and supporting him, and that he's ready for the fight. He's ready for the fight April 16th, and he's going to be there ready to give a good show.
What do you take away from the fact that you are fighting in Errol Spence Jr.'s backyard, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas? He's a major draw out there, but you had no hesitation taking the fight in his hometown.
¿Cómo te sientes tú ir a su casa para él en Dallas cuando te llamaron? ¿Cómo te sentiste de tú saber que tú lo ibas a pelear en su casa en Dallas allá?
No, he sido un competidor de los 6 años. Estoy feliz y emocionado de ir a Dallas, una gran ciudad con unos gran fans, un hermoso estadio, y estoy feliz de ir a pelear ahí en ese sitio.
He's happy to be fighting there. You know, he's happy to be in Dallas where the fans are very emotional. They're great fans there in Texas, and he can't wait to get down.
How has training camp been like as you prepare for the biggest assignment of your career?
¿Cómo ha pasado tu campamento en tu preparando para la pelea más grande de tu vida?
No, un gran campamento, ya se dio un gran campamento, siempre dando lo mejor de nosotros, como otras veces, un poco más emocionado esta vez, porque vamos a una pelea histórica de 3 cinturones.
He's good. The camp has been great, you know, with everything that's going on. Everything's been great with his camp. I mean, he's training hard and he's ready to go.
All right, well, Eddie, we appreciate you. He's the translator. We're going to let Yordenis Ugas work out. We're going to talk with him after his workout. Also, we're going to speak with Ismael Salas and the members of Yordenis Ugas' team. Welterweight unification on the line. Saturday, April 16th on Showtime pay-per-view. We'll allow Yordenis Ugas to work out. And also, I want to run down the pay-per-view card. Gracias, Yordenis. He's going to get in the ring. But we have a loaded card from top to bottom. Dare I say, this is the best card of 2022. We'll start off on Showtime Championship Boxing at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. Our opening matchup, the up-and-coming, sensational 140-pounder, Brandon Lee, who's won 15 straight fights by knockout. He'll put his skills to the test against the determined Zachary Ochoa. Our main event on Showtime Championship Boxing before the pay-per-view, the welterweight champion, Radzab Butayev, matches up against Montes Steniones. What a confrontation that is going to be. Neither man going to take a step backwards. Then we transition to pay-per-view at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time to open up the pay-per-view. We have a terrific matchup featuring the Canadian Cody Crowley, fresh off of a win over Kudratilo Abdukukurov. He will go head-to-head against the always exciting Josecito Lopez. Then we'll go up to 135 as the rising young contender Jose Valenzuela will match up against the former world champion Francisco Vargas. Our co-main event will be the return of the Pitbull, Isaac Cruz, fresh off of a hard-fought loss at the hands of Gervonta Davis. He'll go head-to-head against Yuriorkis Gamboa. That in our co-main event. Then in our main event of the evening, Yordenis Ugas goes to the backyard of Errol Spence Jr. to tango for 3 world titles. And now we're joined alongside by Ismael Salas, the esteemed trainer of one Yordenis Ugas. And Ismael, can you tell us how has training camp been like for this fight as you guys prepare for Errol Spence Jr.?
Yeah, the training camp been great, been very, very great. We have a different period. So the fitness-wise, it was a period, hard work. We already have 9 weeks, the camp, and now we are touch the special period where Yordenis Ugas, we start to make the adjustment for the Errol Spencer style.
Do you anticipate any ring rust from Errol Spence? He's been away from the ring for 16 months.
Yeah. I can tell you one thing very, very clear. This is no secret to anyone. I saw the Errol Spencer fought with the Champ Porter. And I saw the Errol Spencer fought with Danny Garcia. So in these two between, they have one situation, the accident. The same guy, Errol Spencer, fought with Champ Porter. It was not the same guy fought with Danny Garcia. Even he beat Danny Garcia, but he started to lose something.
So are you saying he's not the same fighter?
He's not the same fighter.
So what kind of Errol Spence are you expecting on April 16th?
No, I really pray to get the best of him. Number one, because it will be a great show. It's a pay-per-view. It's a big fight in the year. And if he is in tip-top condition, Ugas will give him a hell of a fight.
How much confidence has Yordenis Ugas gained since the win against Manny Pacquiao back in August?
Yeah, Yordenis Ugas is the kind of fighter that, as you know, he came to us 6 years past with 3 losses. But after that, we've been beating undefeated guy. We fought steadily, step by step, with the top fighter to end the fight with the Manny Pacquiao. It was the biggest fight for Yordenis Ugas, and it was very clear. He beat Manny Pacquiao. Many people say, no, because Manny Pacquiao is getting old. But if you see the Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman, it was the same. Pacquiao threw the 840 punch to Ugas. So this means it was not so old.
So what kind of Yordenis Ugas can we expect on Saturday, April 16th on Showtime pay-per-view at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas?
Yeah, number one thing, we need to absorb the punching power of Spencer. Everybody knows he's a front footer. Everybody knows he's throwing bomb always. But that's why we are working, to absorb and use his aggression in our favor.
I understand. And also, when it comes to looking at the game plan, not giving away your game plan, but what are some things that you've been working on as you prepare Yordenis Ugas for Errol Spence? You're kind of coming in towards the end of training camp.
Yeah, you know, it's very clear. It's no secret. Just use the Errol Spencer Jr. aggression in our favor. This is the key. After that, I cannot say more, but we will try to use the Errol Spencer attack and all his front-footed way of punch in our favor. So we're working for that.
Since Yordenis Ugas came to you after a 2-year hiatus away from the sport, he is 12-1, that only blemish coming a very close decision loss against Shawn Porter. But can you tell us about how much Yordenis Ugas has grown as a fighter since he's been with you since 2016?
Yeah, it's been a process, you know. Number one thing, after 3 losses, any fighter need to work mentally. You know, they lost the confidence and many things. So this is another side for the technical part. We have to work with him with the be more flat-footed. You know, made the transition that Cuban style to be a more
aggressive.
Yeah, more aggressive.
We saw that in the fight against Manny Pacquiao. I saw that Yordenis was really trying to push the pace a little bit more.
You know, one thing I worked with Yordenis Ugas. He tried to be aggression, but not the right way to be aggression. Because I find out that Yordenis Ugas is a master in the middle distance. So he's the guy who made you miss and made you pay. But in that time, he just go aggression and he was missing their little point. Is what I did. You know, very good.
When you talk about that, I look at the footwork of Yordenis Ugas. I saw an improvement in the footwork for Ugas in that fight against Manny Pacquiao. He never really he was constantly moving, but in subtle ways.
Yeah, for us, the key point is a ring position. We love to study every fighter style in different position of the ring, because it's the main. Everything happen in one ring, you know. So Yordenis Ugas with Manny Pacquiao, he did just the proper position to fight Manny Pacquiao. So that's why he won.
And now against Errol Spence, not only is Yordenis taking on Errol Spence, but you, on the other hand, you have a fantastic trainer to go up against. I'm talking about Derek James, who has Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence Jr. Does that excite you, knowing that you're going to be going head-to-head against another world-class trainer?
Yeah, of course. You know, for me, everything is a matter of respect, you know. And I respect everyone's work, and I prize them. But at the time we go to the fight, you got your fighter, I got my fighter. I will try to get the best of my fighter to kick you out.
I understand. And in a perfect world, how do you see the fight playing out against Errol Spence Jr. on Saturday, April 16th?
No, the fight plan is what I say. I don't think Errol Spencer will change the same way he been doing for long. Just from footer and just go for it, and always aggression. This is Errol Spencer Jr., all aggression. And he's physically very strong and mentally very strong. And this is something that he brings to the real time at the fight.
Well, Ismael, thank you so much. We'll let you work out with Yordenis Ugas. I would say that you are the professor of boxing. Ismael Salas, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Ismael Salas, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get ready for the Yordenis Ugas workout here in Las Vegas. Don't miss the pay-per-view, Saturday, April 16th, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. Away we go with the Yordenis Ugas workout.
Eric, ven acá, ponte aquí de este lado. Ponte tú de aquel lado. Así.
Ajá, déjeme colocarla primero.
Javier, Eric, ponte de este lado. Lleva cuando yo te avise, lleva como lo hacemos siempre.
What I did, man, I just felt like he needed that. What are we talking about?
La probamos, profe, a ver si jala hasta allá.
Make that shit known to me.
No, te tiene que moverte porque tiene la cámara.
It took me a while to understand that there's like multiple knowledge and stuff like that. They're all really good. So that's why like there's already this whole try to infer with this. I thought they played too much to society. The Riddler was not alive. Exciting. Yes. Right after this, you go back to oh, yes, I think it's great. No, I didn't. No, a lot of to fly. So remember, he calls it flying. Yeah, but it's still not. It's me and my guy there, right? And he goes like this. I said, wait a minute, what? And then he flies a little bit, and then he does the tumble thing. And I look at my dude, he's just sitting there like this. Like he knew something wasn't right there. Yeah, it was a little different. It wasn't a situation like he had all this shit. Yeah, it wasn't a situation where he had a blow up down, wrapped around him.
Yeah. You are watching.
We don't speak, but when he comes watching,
You are watching the Yordenis Ugas workout here in Las Vegas. The WBA welterweight champion of the world getting set to step inside the ring as he squares off against Errol Spence Jr. on Saturday, April 16th at AT&T Stadium. We go live on Showtime pay-per-view at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. Preceding the pay-per-view, a doubleheader with Brandon Lee matching up against Zachary Ochoa. Also, a welterweight championship affair between Radza Butayev and Imantes Steniones, followed by the pay-per-view. Tickets still available at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Yordenis Ugas in the ring, getting set for his workout.
No para a lo mejor para la... Vamos allá. Eddie, pon el tiempo ahí, Eddie. Yo también. Chingado. Nos movemos un asalto, luego hacemos el asalto con los... Si te va a la derecha, el pie derecho. Buena esa. Esa fue otra que la vi ayer. La vi ayer.
Estoy tomando confianza.
Trate de elevar un poquito más el codo derecho cuando vaya a tirar esa, para que te dé mayor rotación. Yo se lo digo. Quedan 50. Eddie, cuando termine, te mete en el ring. Y lo mismo, tú te mueves para atrás y él se mueve para adelante. He will. Diez segundos. Ahora con. Dale agua a Carlos. Bueno, es lo mismo, moviéndote adelante con tu movimiento. Y empieza primero pasando y después metiendo, tocando, lo que tú quieras. Oiga, ve acá, me amenaza. Ahora cuando vamos a ponte el pullover eso también por esa mierda.
No, después de la mascota yo me lo pongo para la sucia.
¿Ya? Esa es la cosa, presión. Ahí, Santiago, caminando con los dos pies. Vamos. Vamos, síguelo. Camina, vete para atrás, Eri. Vamos. Sube la mano. Ahí, vamos, presión. No te me quedes parado ahí. Ahí, mete presión. Ahí, vamos, mete. Ya, ponle los guantes. Ya, Eri, gracias. Eri, cógeme la mano también allí. ¿La nueva? La de yo. Esa está ahí, mírala allá.
Aquí en la esquina, profesor.
Sí, quede por aquí. No dejen entrar a Brian aquí. Mala. Terminó la pelea muy rápido. Aprendí yo mismo. Préstamelo para yo trabajar con la... Ya viste, ya se lo voy a poner y tú se lo dices.
Sí,
Rest.
Ahí. A ver. Ahí está. Mira, la derecha te tira izquierda. ¡Hey! ¡Hey! Ya.
¿Quieres café, bro?
¿Quieres más?
Felicidades.
¿Querías más?
We were watching you on the bus, man. We were watching you on the bus.
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's what's up, man. Likewise, bro.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah. Esta es mi izquierda. Sube el polo derecho. ¡Hey! ¡Hey! Mira derecho. Sí. ¡Hey! ¡Hey! Ya. Ya. ¡Hey!
Rest.
¡Hey! ¡Hey! Pasa dos veces. ¡Hey! 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 Métete para abajo. ¡Hey! ¡Hey! Después que termine. Carlos. ¿La viste? Sí, sí, sí. ¿Sí?
Yeah, Brian. We were watching that whole fight. Then me and Andy were sitting right next to each other. We knew that shit was coming. We knew you were. I thought it was gonna be a hook though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was gonna be a hook. Dude, and that shit was dope. Bam! That's fucking beautiful, man. That's the real shit, man.
Oh yeah. That was good, guys. What was happening?
Dude, we were going shit. We were going hate because we were already writing back. And Abraham had it on live. And that's how I watched it. That's the way I watched it, man.
Give me the check.
Ya, ahora quítate eso, ponte tu logo y ve a la pista. Pues si no fácil, diga, dale eso,
You are watching your Dennis Ugas workout here on the Showtime Sports YouTube page. the WBA welterweight champion of the world, squares off against Errol Spence Jr., the WBC and IBF welterweight champion of the world, on Saturday, April 16th on Showtime pay-per-view. It all emanates from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, presented by Premier Boxing Champions and promoted by TGB Promotions and Man Down Promotions. You do not want to miss this card from top to bottom. It is absolutely loaded. Before we go live on pay-per-view, you will see two exciting matchups on Showtime Championship Boxing at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. We'll start off with Brandon Lee, who takes a 15-fight knockout streak into his confrontation against Zachary Ochoa. Then our main event on Showtime Championship Boxing before the pay-per-view. It'll be a welterweight championship affair between Radza Butaev and Imantas Staniones. What a battle that is going to be. Then we transition to pay-per-view at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time from AT&T Stadium, as we'll start off with Cody Crowley, the exciting Canadian fighter coming off of a win over Kudratilo Abdukukarov. His assignment on Saturday, April 16th, will be none other than the Riverside Rocky, Josecito Lopez. Will go to 135 as Jose Valenzuela, who's making waves in the division as a young upstart, he will go head-to-head against the former world champion Francisco Vargas. The co-main event will be the return of the Pitbull Isaac Cruz, fresh of a hard-earned loss at the hands of Gervonta Tank Davis. He'll match up against Yuriokis Gamboa, the Cuban standout. Then our main event, Errol Spence Jr. and your Dennis Ugas get it on for 3 world titles at 147. Just the 12th time that unification has happened at 147. 3 of the 4 bouts will be on the line on Saturday, April 16th on Showtime pay-per-view. We continue with the Yordenis Ugas workout, and we got Yordenis Ugas today. Tomorrow, we will be down in Dallas to visit the WBC and IBF welterweight champion of the world, Errol Spence Jr. That comes your way at 4 Eastern, 3 Central Time, 1 Pacific Time, right here on the Showtime Sports YouTube page. The workout of Yordenis Ugas continues.
Dale 5 más y ya nos vamos para lo de la prensa. Ahí.
Ray, I'm gonna bring him over there, knock him out, because I'm gonna bring him back over here.
Okay, that's fine.
And then uno, and then come back. And then do all these. Yeah, after that we'll come back here. Then I'll bring him back in for all you media guys. Showtime has to leave, that's why I'm taking him over there with you.
Alright, I'm gonna do a carton of battery, guys, just so you know.
And we are once again joined alongside by Yordenis Ugas, who is in impeccable physical shape. Yordenis, assuming all goes according to plan on Saturday, April 16th, what would becoming and holding 3 welterweight championships of the world mean to you?
Todo lo que estás haciendo para conseguir esas 3 fajas. Háblanos, ¿qué es lo que vas a hacer para que esas fajas vengan contigo el día 16 de abril? ¿Qué es lo que estás haciendo?
Bueno, hemos tenido, gracias a Dios, hemos tenido un gran campamento. Estamos trabajando fuerte, empujando como siempre, un poco más motivados por esta pelea histórica que tenemos. Y eso es lo que vamos a hacer. Estamos trabajando duro y esa noche vamos a competir fuerte.
First of all, I want to say thank you to God. We have a great camp here in Las Vegas with Ismael Salas. That's what we're doing. The hard work will pay off. So the hard work will be means we're going to take all the best with us to Vegas.
When you came back to the sport in August of 2016, a fight in which you handed Jamal James the first loss of his professional career, did you ever think that you would be at this stage of your career after being away from the sport for 2 years at that point?
Cuando regresaste de la inactividad en agosto del 2016 y le propinaste esa derrota a Jamal James, ¿creíste que estuvieras aquí hoy en día?
Sí, todo el mundo sabe. Estuve fuera del boxeo 2 años y medio, pero esa noche yo regresé a hacer los ajustes. Esa noche le gané un invicto de 20-0 y yo sabía que mi camino comenzaba ahí y que íbamos a llegar a ser campeón.
You're right. I was off like almost 2 years, but that night I made all the change in my life. That night I know already I'm coming for big things. So that night everything changed for me. That's why we are here fighting Errol Spence.
You brought up about change. How much has your life changed since defeating the great Manny Pacquiao, as that was Manny Pacquiao's last fight? I see you at fights now, and more people are coming up to you asking you for photos, autographs. You have become more of a household name. How has life changed for Yordenis Ugas?
Hablando de cambios, luego de Pacquiao, tu vida cambió. Manny Pacquiao hizo algo diferente en tu vida. Háblanos de esos cambios. Tú te has vuelto un hombre muy formidable para la gente. Todo el mundo quiere hablar de Yordenis Ugas. Háblanos de esos cambios.
Sí, fue una gran pelea para mí. Mucha gente que no me conocía me conoció esa noche. Gané mucho respeto esa noche también. Y han sido muchos cambios. Confirmé que era campeón del WBA esa noche también. y he ganado mucho respeto después de eso. Nos hemos mantenido trabajando fuerte, nos hemos mantenido el mismo chico de siempre, con más responsabilidad ahora, y estoy feliz de estar aquí, estoy feliz de estar en esta posición.
Yeah, for sure. After Manny Pacquiao, my life changed in different ways. All the fans want to know about your Dennis Ugas, but most important thing, I keep it humble and I show the person, the people, the fans who was the real WBA champ. I made it by keeping the same Georgian Ugas with different important changes in my life, but the more important, I keep it humble to keep it looking history. That's what I keep it.
According to the odds makers here in Las Vegas, you're more than a 3-1 underdog. Does that upset you? Do you use that as extra motivation, or is that insignificant?
For Spence fight, you talking?
No, for the fight against Errol Spence, yes.
Okay, estás bajo en las apuestas para la pelea con Errol Spence, como también lo tuviste con Pacquiao. ¿Eso te motiva, te desanima? ¿Qué papel importante juega estar abajo en las apuestas para esa pelea?
No, he estado otra vez aquí, es insignificante para mí eso.
That means nothing. I've been there being the underdog, no use for Pacquiao or Errol Spence. Most of my fights, I was the underdog. That doesn't mean nothing for me.
If you could give Errol Spence Jr. one message, what would that be as you prepare for your collision on April 16th on Showtime pay-per-view at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas?
Si le puedes mandar un solo mensaje a Errol Spence de cara a colectar esa faja que quieren tener tanto tú como él, ¿cuál sería ese mensaje de cara a la pelea del 16 de abril en el AT&T Stadium?
No, que es un honor estar en esa pelea de 3 cinturones y que va a pelear con un rival digno, va a pelear con un campeón, va a pelear con un guerrero.
I just want to say it's an honor to be in the ring with him. We were looking for the 3 belts, but after the belts or separate the belts, I am a warrior, I am a champion. That's more as honor fight with him.
And finally, what can fans expect when they pack AT&T Stadium and they watch all over the world on Showtime pay-per-view?
Finalmente, ¿qué puede esperar a la afición cuando esté todo lleno, más de 50,000 fans, y tú estés en el ring con Errol Spence? ¿Qué pueden esperar ellos de ti?
No, como yo he dicho a mi familia, a mi equipo, a la gente que me apoya, especialmente a mi comunidad cubana, solamente esa noche de sangre, sudor, esfuerzo y lágrimas, esa noche ahí, abril 16.
As I say, as my family, my people, everybody wants the best of me, but particularly they want to expect blood, tears from me, because I will fight like a honor, like a warrior. That's what I can expect for me.
Predicción.
¿Qué predicción tiene la pelea?
No, esa noche voy a luchar duro para llevarme los 3 cinturones.
I just can say I will work hard for take all the best with me that April 16 in the AT&T Stadium.
You're Dennis. Good luck. We look forward to seeing you during fight week in Dallas.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're Dennis Ugas, ladies and gentlemen, joining us here at his media workout in Las Vegas. And now I'm going to try to go ahead and grab a hold of Showtime Shawn Porter. Shawn, if you want to come in here to my right, it is great to see you, the recently retired Showtime Shawn Porter. And this is a privilege for me because you were in the ring against your Dennis Ugas in March of 2019. Okay, well, I'll let you go ahead and, okay. And then Errol Spence Jr. It was about a 6-month period when you fought both guys back to back. That was back in March of 2019 and September of 2019.
Got my own mic.
You know, you got your own mic and everything. Look at this, how
Is it
our
turned on?
Showtime Sports digital team is handling things. But what do you expect on Saturday, April 16th, down at AT&T Stadium in Arlington?
Well, first of all, I expect you guys all to hate me after what I've just been doing for the last 10 to 15 minutes or whatever. I expect fireworks. You know, we always talk about fireworks, this and that, but what we know about your Dennis and what we know about Errol is these guys fight. These guys are in it to win it. And with that being said, I don't expect guys to take steps back unless they need to, want to, and the other one's going to push them and make them do it. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a back-and-forth fight. I think it's not an easy fight to call a winner for. And I am very much so expecting a great fight, and I'm hoping to be there and enjoy the excitement.
How impressed were you from the performance of your Dennis Ugas in his victory over the great Manny Pacquiao?
I mean, I was so impressed. I'm still talking about it today. You know, we've seen each other a couple of times since that fight. This is my first time actually meeting Silas and speaking to him and all that kind of thing. And I just told him, I said, man, you guys did an amazing job fighting Manny Pacquiao. If you can duplicate a lot of those things that you did against him, you've been looking at another special night.
Your Dennis Ugas is not an easy task whatsoever. I mean, you gained the victory over him. You can attest to that. Are you surprised that Errol Spence, after being away from the ring for 16 months, he had that fight against Manny Pacquiao, but his eye injury derailed those plans, thus insert your Dennis Ugas, who picked up the win over Pacquiao. Are you surprised that Errol isn't taking a comeback fight or a tune-up fight and instead is right back in the mix to take on your Dennis Ugas for 3 world titles?
Oh, man. Errol Spence has been saying he's a throwback fighter since he came into the professional ranks. Probably was saying that before he was a professional. He is a throwback fighter. That's what the throwbacks did. That's what they do. They fought multiple times in one day. You know what I mean? Multiple times in one week. You know what I mean? So he's a throwback in the sense that even though all of these things have happened to him, he's not looking for a test. He's not looking for a tune-up. He's not looking for anything, quote-unquote, easy. He's in it to be the best, and that means fighting the best, and that's what he's willing to do. I'm not surprised at all.
Well, the one thing that you held very true to yourself is that you always wanted to fight the best. Do you love, now that you're away from the sport, that you're retired, you're enjoying being, devoting 100% to your family and, taking a step back, watching it from a ringside observer, that we are watching these guys try to challenge for all the belts and go for greatness and try to get some clarity at 147?
Absolutely. I kind of saw that wave as I was making my exit from the competition side of the sport, where you're seeing even young guys calling out the old heads, and now the management and now the promotional teams are giving those guys those shots. It's something we haven't seen in a very long time. So for everybody to be now trying to gear towards one true champion in the welterweight division, I think it's exciting. But even more than that, it makes we got 5, 6, 7 exciting fights back to back to back if that happens. You know what I mean? So I think that while the boxing world has always rested on the shoulders of the heavyweight division and then the welterweight division, I think the welterweight division is always going to deliver, and we got another one coming up.
Well, you always delivered in your fights, and looking at you, you look in fantastic physical shape, and I think the boxing world would be upset at me if I didn't ask this question. And you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
When you look at the fact that you're taking on you see your Dennis Ugas fighting Errol Spence, 2 guys that you had battles with, exciting fights, just tremendous affairs. Does it give you the itch to say, well, what if I might give it another run? Or are you happy and are the gloves just totally hung up for the rest of your life?
I'm good. Moments like this don't make me miss the game. All the cameras and, being in the ring and everybody watching you 2 weeks away from the fight, all that kind of stuff. That doesn't give me the itch. To be honest with you, what gives me the itch is when I see people outside of the boxing world say, hey, man, we respect you. We love what you did for the sport. If you come back, we would love it. If not, we still respect your decision. I'm like, man, people are really starving for me to get back in the boxing ring, and I didn't.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm
honestly,
one of
man,
them.
I say as humbly as possible, man. It's surprising. It's pleasantly surprising, and I keep telling myself no, but don't be surprised if I do.
Yeah, I love that answer.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I don't know. Why am I giving y'all all false hope? Don't
because you and I are friends.
Don't hope
because we're
for
friends.
That. It's not gonna
forget
happen.
about that. We're friends.
It's not gonna happen. My company line is next time you see me in the boxing ring, it'll be in a movie. So.
Okay, all right. He's gonna go to Hollywood now. Showtime, Sean Porter. I appreciate the time, Sean.
You got it, man.
Always a pleasure, my
You know
man. Cleveland's finest, ladies and gentlemen, now residing here in Las Vegas. All right, that'll do it for the workout of your Dennis Ugas. Just to break down the entire card from top to bottom, is Showtime Sean Porter out here and saying hello to everybody. Obviously, the former world champion, so well respected in the community. What can you expect on Saturday, April 16th? Well, I'm going to run it down for you. Before we go live on pay-per-view at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time, we have 2 outstanding matchups coming your way on Showtime Championship Boxing, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. We'll start off with Brandon Lee, making waves at 140. He takes his 15-fight knockout streak into his matchup against the very determined Zachary Hikari Ochoa. The main event of Showtime Championship Boxing. Sign me up. Get some popcorn. Get your favorite beverage because this one is going to be a barn burner. Radza Butayev, the champion at 147, collides against a Montes Staniones. Then we go live on Showtime pay-per-view, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. We'll start off with the Canadian standout Cody Crowley coming off of a win over Kudratilo Abdukukurov. His assignment that very evening will be the Riverside Rocky, Josecito Lopez. And bank on this, Josecito Lopez has never been in a boring fight in his life. Then we'll go on to 135, the undefeated young prospect trying to graduate to contender status. Jose Valenzuela will meet up against the former world champion Francisco Vargas. Will stay at 135 as none other than the Pitbull, Isaac Cruz, returns to the ring after a very determined and strong effort in Monte Tank Davis at what was known as Staples Center, now Crypto.com Arena, as he will match up against the Cuban Yuriorkis Gamboa. Then in our main event for 3 world titles, Errol Spence Jr. defends his WBC and IBF crown on the line against the WBA champion, also putting his belt up for grabs, Yordenis Ugas. Tomorrow, 4 Eastern, 3 Pacific time, or not, 4 Eastern, 3 Central time, 1 Pacific time, we will be down in Dallas, Texas for the workout of Errol Spence Jr. right here on the Showtime Sports YouTube page. Join us, ladies and gentlemen, as we are 2.5 weeks away from welterweight unification between Errol Spence Jr. and Yordenis Ugas. Thank you to Yordenis Ugas' entire team for being so hospitable to us. We'll talk to you tomorrow in Dallas, Texas, as we talk with Errol Spence Jr. But Yordenis Ugas focused and ready to go, as it's going to be a special night of boxing on Saturday, April 16th on Showtime pay-per-view. On behalf of our entire team, I'm Ray Flores. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific time down in Dallas here on the Showtime Sports YouTube page. Have a great one, everybody. We'll talk to you in less than a day.
They have each battled almost unimaginable adversity.
They have proven beyond any
The winner
doubt
of the main event
how much they will fight.
will walk away with 3 of the welterweight belts. Just one away from becoming the undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
I've been getting a second chance at life.
Is Errol Spence still the same guy?
And I've been getting a third chance at boxing. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna fight the best guys.
You'll see the best of Errol Spence, and Adonis Ugas will bring it out.
I was ready for Pacquiao. I'm gonna be ready for Spence. What you're gonna see on April 16th is 2 of the 3 best welterweights in the world.
At the end of the day, I want to be undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
This is for 3 of the 4 world titles. For who's the best welterweight of this era.